Here we are.
Happy spring. Happy spring.
We're going to talk about your brother's sinlessness.
Can't wait.
Sinlessness.
Let's hear it.
Stumbled over that word. The opposite of illusions is not disillusionment, but truth. So, like disillusionment is confusion, but truth is the opposite. That's much better. Only to the ego, to which truth is meaningless, do illusions and disillusionment appear to be the only alternatives and different from each other. In truth, illusions and disillusionment are the same. If you're messing with any kind of illusions, you ain't messing with the truth. Yeah. Both illusions and disillusionment bring the same amount of misery, though each one seems to be the way to lose the misery the other brings. Every illusion carries pain and suffering in the dark folds of the heavy garments in which it hides illusion's nothingness. Yet by these dark and heavy garments are those who seek illusions covered and hidden from the joy of truth.
Both illusions and disillusionment are based on the false. ACIM points out that although we can exchange one illusion with another, we're still suffering from the same delusion of claiming that we don't know what we are. The ego is constantly exchanging one promise of happiness for another. The ego changes the means to achieve happiness, but the goal is always one step out of your reach. Being given everything by God, God's Son cannot find happiness in the illusion of littleness outside of ourselves. Our happiness lies only in the truth that we are as God created us, perfect, whole, and complete.
Amen, brother and son. Truth is the opposite of illusions because truth offers joy. What else but joy could be the opposite of misery? To leave one kind of misery and seek another form of misery is hardly an escape from misery. To change illusions is to make no change, like changing seats on the Titanic. The search for joy in misery is senselessness, senseless. For how could joy be found in misery? All that is possible in the dark world of misery is to select some aspects out of the world of misery, see the aspects as different, and define the difference in aspects of the world of misery as joy. Today we use the word reframe.
Mm-hmm.
To perceive a difference where none exists will surely fail to make a difference.
Sure seems hopeless. We have only two possible choices, truth or illusion. Any
Yeah, what a
choice but
bummer, huh?
any choice but truth would be a choice for the false. Egoic thinking would have you believe that we have multiple choices. It claims one illusion is different from another illusion, and thus it's a different choice. Both choices are still illusion choices for the nothingness of the false. ACIM points out that any choice for the specialness of littleness is a decision to believe that the separation is real. An illusion is an illusion. Truth is truth. Any illusion, no matter the size, shape, or form, disappears when brought before the light of truth. An illusion cannot make God's Son happy.
Illusions carry only guilt and suffering, sickness and death to their believers. The form in which illusions are accepted is irrelevant. No form of misery, in reason's eyes, can be confused with joy. Joy is eternal. You can be sure indeed that any seeming happiness that does not last is really fear. Joy does not turn to sorrow, for the eternal cannot change. But sorrow can be turned to joy, for time gives way to the eternal. Only the timeless must remain unchanged, but everything in time, which is the world of perception, can change with time. Yet if the change be real and not imagined, illusions must give way to truth, and not to other dreams that are equally unreal. The exchange of one illusion for another illusion is no difference.
Joy and happiness and peace are the sonship's natural state, and this is eternal. God's will is that his child be happy. Anytime we're not in a state of eternal peace, we are suffering from the fear of an illusion. We've abdicated our divine birthright as co-creator with our Father for the desire to be special. An illusion is any belief that something outside of our mind, which is part of the mind of God, can affect or cause our personal experience. In the illusion, that is the separation, time exists to give us the opportunity to correct the mistaken belief that our will could be separate from our source's will. In the world of perception, time is needed so that we can learn we are the creator of all we perceive, and that there is only one shared will of God. Only by freely accepting the fact that our will is the Father's will can a Son of God be happy. We can't be joyous if we're limited.
One of the reasons I think that people don't embrace yet all of these incredible things that are being said here, the whole idea of a real gospel, that joy is really our birthright, is that they don't think it's possible for that to be true because they've lived in misery in all its different forms all their life. And they were taught that's the way life is, carefully taught.
Yep, we're all embedded in the illusion, and we back up the illusion with everything we see with our eyes. I get it.
Yep. And it's hard to transfer that, to change to a world where we even see it. I'm saying this, Lee, because it's a real roadblock to a lot of people. And we, as teachers and people who share this, share it by virtue of doing things well and being joyful and proving that there is a better way. Okay. Paragraph 4. Reason will tell you that the only way to escape from misery is to recognize misery and go the other way. Truth is the same and misery the same, but truth and misery are different from each other in every way, in every instance, and without exception. To believe that one exception to truth can exist is to confuse what is the same with what is different to truth, which is illusion. That's how do you put those words together to say that? It's an incredible statement. What is the same is the same, but what's different is different in every way. It's an amazing statement about truth. One illusion cherished and defended against the truth makes all truth meaningless and all illusions real, such as the power of belief. Truth cannot compromise, and faith in innocence is faith in sin. If the belief excludes one living thing and holds one living thing out, apart from faith in innocence is forgiveness. Reason will tell you that the only way to escape from misery is to recognize misery and go the other way, fast. Truth is the same and misery is the same. But truth and misery are different from each other in every way, in every instance, and without exception. To believe that one exception to truth can exist is to confuse what is the same with what is different to truth, which is illusion. One illusion cherished and defended against the truth makes all truth meaningless and all illusions real, such as the power of belief. In other words, to say my case is different, everything you say is good except one thing, it don't work that way. Not in this bag. Such is the power of belief. Truth cannot compromise. And faith in innocence is faith in sin. If the belief excludes one living thing and holds one living thing out, apart from faith in innocence's forgiveness.
Does this mean I even have to love mosquitoes?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't want to do that.
as they say, God bless and keep the czar far away from us.
To believe in sometimes is to deny the eternal. Truth cannot be false sometimes. This is an internal contradiction of ACIM's definition for truth. Truth is changeless and everlasting, and this is what makes truth real. Illusion, or the unreal, is anything that is subject to change. In the egoic world of perception, truth has been replaced with the true, the false, and the sometimes. The sometimes makes the ego the arbitrator of truth. Truth just is. Truth cannot be made false by an egoic whim. We can choose to deny the truth, but we cannot change the truth. To withhold forgiveness from one part of a oneness is to withhold forgiveness from the whole, because it's one thing. No part can be separated from the whole without the denial of the existence of a oneness. If we choose to withhold forgiveness from one brother, we condemn ourselves to the same prison. We are our brother's jailer. Yet the jailer cannot go home until all of his prisoners have been freed. Thus, we are forever linked to our brother's freedom.
Amen to that.
Hear, hear. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.